So today we're working on a 1994 Chevy 1500. And what we're doing today is we are changing the transmission cover and filter and fluid from the original cover that it came with, which is right here, with no bolt hole and no opportunity to change the fluid, as you can see, without taking the cover off. So we went ahead and purchased the cover from Edward.Traenkner Performance on this TH350 GM Trans automatic. It comes with the bolt hole in it, and new gasket and new nuts. Also today we are going to be installing the B&M rear diff cover for this 10 bolt rear end to clean this up and make this accessible to also change the filters, or change the fluid, not the filter. Ed's not in the shop today, so I'm going to take on these two ventures as he's out working on a Mustang for another friend. He might cut this into his video, he might not, I'm not sure. Let's see what the finishing touches are when I return.
Alright, while Rick's working over there at his place, I'm first of all working on Victoria's car. We're changing out the door actuator for her air conditioner, so her air conditioner temperature is controllable. So I've got the old one out. It's two 5.5 millimeter bolts that hold it in. I've just got to align the door, which actually you can see it. Right through there, see it? I got to align that so that it matches, and then reinstall the new one. So I'm just going to get a pair of pliers and turn the door a little bit, and we'll install the new one with the two 5.5 self-tapping screws. So there you go. Then later I head over to Matt's and we're going to put a new solenoid for his cam in his car. So I'll let you know when I get over there. We'll do some videoing over there as well. So I'll post a video when this is done. Alright, new one's installed. Hopefully she'll have air conditioner. Alright, well, we took Matt's car and hopefully fixed his issue. We replaced his solenoid for his variable cam timing. So hopefully that takes care of his P012 code that he's getting. And I took a couple pictures. I'll post them up here, but I didn't video it. It was just a simple remove the valve cover, replace it, put the valve cover back on, plug everything back in. So it was real quick and easy. So hopefully that took care of his issue. We'll know. So far, so good.
Okay, so we're back under the Chevy with the trans for the 350, and I put the new filter in, cleaned up all the edges. And one thing I did when I bought the new pan is the gasket's always very tough to just manage, just make sure that it stays there. So what I went ahead and did is preset all the new nuts into the gasket where it's holding the gasket in place, and I can sit it up there and tighten it down with a T-handle like so, as it makes it easier that all the holes and everything line up and you don't cut the gasket trying to use a screwdriver or whatnot. So now it's time to put that back on the transmission. All right, and there is the pan on now. So you can see it's on there. The Chevy 350 trans. All bolts are torqued down to 12 foot-pounds of torque, or 130 inch-pounds roughly. Okay, so back to the rear end of the Chevy 1500. So what you can see here is I've used my ultra black gasket maker, oil resistant, that I'm going to put on here once I wipe the rear off. Also, each one of the bolts I'm going to put just a little bit on just to make sure that they snug in. And that's it. This will be the end of the truck installation parts today, and I'll show you the finish with the torque specifications at the end. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention is these carriage bolts in here. Make sure that if you can see these two big bolts on the side of the axle, so these are flush mounted, so I'm got them just about close, and then once I put the gear box on, I tighten it just snug, 5 foot-pounds of torque, and then basically finger tight, and then it runs against those two holes, and I tighten those two nuts down. All right, some more to come in just a few minutes. Okay, so now the B&M diff cover is in place. All the nuts are torqued down to 15 foot-pounds of torque. The carriage bolts right here are seated. All these have to be is finger tight, just about 5 pounds. And basically all I have to do now is fill the rear, fill the transmission. This takes 2 quarts, 2 quarts and 4 ounces. The transmission takes 5 quarts if it's just a trans flush and fluid change. And that's it. That's the finish of the 1994 Chevy 1500, 350 trans, and the rear diff cover. Next week we'll have some nice new content on a 79 Trans Am. Have a good weekend, y'all. Hit like and subscribe if you think this content was useful.